And is there a crossover effect in the sense that people on the Democratic side are being drawn in to vote because of Trump? You hear a lot about that people on the left in this country are alarmed at what they see as a right-wing candidate who is, has often been described as having fascist-type trappings like Mussolini amongst some, and others suggested he's more akin to a kind of right-wing populism in the form of what we've seen in earlier races, right-wing populists in the vein of, say, a George Wallace. So is that a factor?
It can be. So let's just imagine that right now there's all of this interest and excitement on the Republican side, and I do believe it's very true that Trump is pulling in some people who don't normally participate in Republican primaries. We can actually see this in terms of his comment, I love the poorly educated people, and we might laugh at that, but there's a nugget of real important truth behind that, which is that lower educated people don't normally participate in Republican primaries, and we are seeing them voting, and we're seeing them participate and supporting Trump in the exit polls. We can also see some evidence in some of the voting data we have from election officials and the voter registration files. We can also see evidence of people who don't normally participate in Republican primaries showing up to vote. So he's pulling some people in, that's without a doubt. And I also believe it's very true that he's pulling in some people to vote against him as well. You're getting the crossover vote of Democrats and independents who, like in Ohio, were supporting Kasich against Trump. So there's that dynamic that's going on. When we get to the general election, those people who are voting against Trump at the moment, they are also going to continue voting against Trump when we get to the general election. And some of the Republicans who are currently supporting another candidate will come home and support him, but we already have some public officials saying that they would never support him in a general election. So that's that dynamic of polarization that's so present right now just within the Republican primary electorate. When we get to the general election, when turnout's going to be twice what it is right now, we're going to see Democrats are being pulled in, and that could be very meaningful. There could be some Democratic groups that have traditionally low turnout rates that are going to show up in ways that they haven't shown up before. I'm really thinking about Latinos, because Latinos, depending on the election, their turnout rates are about 10 to 15 percentage points lower than the whites and the blacks. And so if they are activated by a potential Trump presidency, then that could be very meaningful for the Democrats in terms of